Hello, hello, beautiful person watching this. I'm so happy that you're here. Welcome back to another Slay the Spire Ascension 20 Defect run. On this channel, I upload my recorded runs with some commentary and some general discussion about this beautiful game that we play. I've got a real treat for you today. This is a claw run, as I'm sure the thumbnail will suggest. Not just a run that has some claws in it, but wins another way. This is a claw run, okay? And... Alright, floor 1, already making a mistake. Excellent. First card I play is a mistake. In typical fashion. I shouldn't have played defend, missed 6 damage. And before I forget to say it, make sure you stick around for the heart fight, because... or skip ahead, I suppose. Because that heart fight is absolutely crazy. Oh, here we are, floor 1. I take claw over no other damage cards. Found a card, remove it, remove strike. Claw is all the damage we need, no need for those strikes. And already taking 7 from the Jawworm. So it's not going great so far. Got him dead though. And of course a cold snap. Frost Orb is extra important when you're doing the thing with claw. It's kind of your main source of block probably. And I find a Vajra to lean into the claw thing. At this point I was already fully committed to the meme. 2 floors in. I'm like, yep, doing the claw thing, fine. I'm taking 5 from the lice there. And I also took a Go for the Eyes. Go for the Eyes basically just neutralize from Silent, except they have to be attacking you. But since it only applies 1 week, it doesn't actually change anything until it's upgraded. So deciding what to upgrade, I was considering resting there, but that's for grannies. I upgraded Cold Snap. And I did find a Glacier. Glacier's excellent card block. So we'll be playing Claws and blocking with Glacier and Cold Snap. And we got Sentries at our first round with plenty of Frost Orbs already, so that's definitely a good result. Would have hated to see Gremlin Knob here. This run maybe could have never happened. Take 1, sadly. Still have a Lightning Orb hanging around. When you have triple Frost Orb in play, then all you have to do is draw 1 defend and you're full blocking. Very nice. Claw takes care of that. And I have the option to zap here, but I actually refrain from doing so. Keep my Frost Orbs around. And Cold Snap, of course, evoking a Frost Orb there, basically playing a defend. The Sentry's fight went swimmingly. It took 6, I think. Not bad at all. Got a pair, and there's Biased Cog from the first lead. That's pretty good. More block for our claw deck, of course. And I'm considering usually clicking the heal here, but I decide I can get away with the max health. Only 1 more elite this act. And I rest again. I mean, I upgrade again. So that's pretty good. Upgrade a Biased Cog. And find Laga. Once again dodging Gremlin Knob. This time I think I would have been fine, but still definitely a worse result than Laga. To be sure. Wait around 1 more turn, make sure we get our Frost Orbs in play. I strike here instead of zap. I'm not really sure why, to be honest. Missed 1 damage, possibly. Unless I'm cooking and I want the dual cast with Biased Cog in play. Like, it actually ended up being good, but I think it was still a mistake. Good with a question mark. And boy, did this fight go well. You're taking 0 damage from Lagavulin. You'll love to see it. Find a duplication potion. What did I just take? I don't even remember. Sure was good though. Is that a second claw perhaps? Yep, second claw. Excellent. I go to a shop, and there's a Flash of Steel to combo with our 0 cost attack plus Vajra plus Nunchaku even. Nunchaku's pretty good here. So I take the Flash of Steel over card removing. Oh, this is a tough one. You hate to see this. So you gotta kill that guy, of course. And then the shield guy being with the wizard guy that's brutal. That's like the worst configuration. And the fat guy weakening us also. Like this is possibly the worst outcome for this Gremlin gang situation. Here it comes. So I get to weaken that guy, blocking for 8, and then use my block pot here. So only taking 7. Then we get this guy dead. And so we're about to go into Guardian, and I realize that Incense Burner is on the wrong number. Incense Burner, of course, once it reaches 6 stacks that carry over between fights, you will gain 1 intangible, making you only take 1 damage from all sources. So I know that on turn 2 of the Guardian fight, Guardian will deal 36 damage. So I want this Incense Burner to be on 4, so that I will take 1 instead. So I just simply pass with my Frost Orbs, full blocking against Fat Gremlin until I'm on 4, and now I may kill it. And Compile Driver's pretty good. Draw some cards, helps me draw towards my claws more. And what to upgrade here? Probably Zap. I have a Flash of Steel and Compile Driver, so pretty good to upgrade that 0 cost to Zap. Make sure we can play it whenever we want. That way we can draw with Compile Driver more consistently, etc., etc. And I do the full damage here. Never mind, I just play Glacier, knowing I have an Incense Burner cooking. And yeah, saves my life in this case. Although I could have all in with the attacks on turn 1 and chosen to do it that way. Perhaps gotten there another way. And can't play Claw here, sadly. Gonna take some damage, so I can Cold Snap, get another Frost Orb, and full block exactly. Pretty good. And Glacier looks good. Could dual cast Claw instead of just keeping all my orbs. Probably a mistake, but I wanted to play Claw really bad. It's fun. And here, Incense Burner cooking again. In fact, we have it on the right number still. It's beautiful. Claw does the most damage, and then I can Strike to charge Nunchaku with the rest of my energy. Claw playable, and Strike. Very cool. And dual cast with full block here. Drawing our Go for the Eyes at a very opportune time. Love to see that. Reshuffling before playing it because I don't want it again. We're almost there. Now I can finally play Bias Cog. Unfortunately, Incense Burner on the wrong number. Should have possibly not played like this. Could have waited again for Incense Burner to do the thing. Could have not played Bias Cog, etc., etc. Second Bias Cog is here, but there's an Electro. I already have a Bias Cog. And unfortunately, Claw, as amazing and powerful as it is not excellent against Slavers or Gremlin Leader. So would like to have some insurance for those fights. And here we are with two very tough to sell 4 energy relics. Of course, we'd love to play a million claws in one turn, so Bile Choker's out of the question. And there's a coffee dripper preventing us from resting for the rest of the run. Wasn't convinced at this point I would be able to take that without dying. So Frozen Core is here. A relic that I very, very rarely click on. Replacing your Lightning Orb at the start with 1 Frost Orb at the end of each turn if you have an empty orb slot. So, and it does work the way you want it to, where it will create itself and then also block. It doesn't, pass or anything like that. So, pretty solid relic, but normally not worth taking over the other options. In this case, I decided to give it a try. So we got all kinds of wacky stuff going on in this run. Very excited. And pretty good Spheric Guardian fights. Only take 1 damage. Don't love any of these cards. Rebound pickable to put my claw back on top, but unexciting. Looking for hologram in that case to do that. A bad opening hand here. Play Biased Cog if I feel like it. And I would full block. But I can also defend, and then I would only take 1 and not perhaps die to energy minus. Looking for lethal here. I draw. There's Biased Cogs, so no longer taking damage at any point in this fight, that's for sure. And it's dead anyway. And Skim is here. Skim, excellent with all of our 0-cost attacks. Perfect. And our potions look real good. Would love to keep these for the heart. And I found a duplicate. Now, you might think, surely this goes on the Biased Cognition that's upgraded already. And in fact, it should have. I actually genuinely considered clicking Claw here for the memes, but then I was like, okay, a nice middle ground of actually good but still kind of memeing is put it on the Skim, and then Skim draws me more claws. I did consider like maybe the double Bias Cog is a bit much at this point, but of course Bias Cog's an excellent card, and if we find some artifact or orange pellets at some point in the run, then we would definitely want 2 of them. So definitely a bad decision, a fun decision rather. If you are looking to win and you have Bias Cognition Plus in your deck and you have a duplicate shrine, you should probably just duplicate your Biased Cog. Snake Plant is kind of brutal. And of course, we are intangible on the turn it's not hitting us, as per usual. And I have Nunchaku on 9, and my orbs are hitting for 5, so I can just pass. Remember your relics, kids. And Hologram's here. Finds my claw again to play more claws. Of course I'm taking that. Definitely could have taken Ritual Dagger here, but I decided to take the gold instead. I just don't love Ritual Dagger, but I know it's better than I think it is, like, better than I value it, anyway. And happily not finding slavers here. The amount of times I've died to slavers, man. That fight is brutal. And we have to do damage, so playing Electro there. This thing needs to die, or it will kill us very quickly. Bold Snap, sure. And if I dual cast and leave an orb open, then I get a Frost Orb, which is actually very cool. Something I hadn't considered ever before taking this. Like, I don't think I've ever taken this relic on purpose. Ever, ever, ever. And Claw gets there. It's beautiful. Should have played Strike. Missed one Nunchaku charge. Find a Smiling Mask. Now each of our removables from the shop will only cost 50 gold for the rest of the run. A nice relic. And what to upgrade here? A Skim. Draw more cards so we can find more claws. I do want to reiterate how insanely stupid not duplicating Bias Cog was, by the way. I know it was bad. Please don't comment. Electro. Could probably even play Bias Cog, yep. Looking to kill these guys quickly. I can dual cast the Frost Orb. Make another one. Not playing any more skills because it will shuffle Dazes into my draw pile. And I even choose to pass here. I could have actually played the Defend there. I have Skim, so probably took 5 for no reason, in hindsight. Mistake. And it's not hitting me, so I should have passed here. That was a mistake. I could have charged Incense Burner one more turn by just passing. Find another Claw. At this point, it's not particularly good to keep adding more Claws. You know, 2 is enough. You can just keep drawing them with Skim and whatnot. And we find the Pellets with just enough gold. Pellets, if you play a power, a skill, and an attack in the same turn, you will cleanse all of your debuffs. And the focus down from Bias Cognition is a debuff, so you can cleanse the debuff and it essentially just becomes gain 5 focus, which is extremely powerful. Definitely the most obvious way to break Defect, basically. And I can even cleanse the Frail there, very cool. So the Fungi Beast is dying this turn to my orbs. So then I do... I didn't have to weaken here, but I do. I could have just clawed. Mistake. It's already full blocking. And it's dead. And once again, my Intense Burner's on the wrong number. So this time I pass wisely. And now it's going to die either way, so I can... should have charged Nunchaku more. Missed a Nunchaku charge there. So, little itty-bitty misplays. Definitely, if you have these relics that retain their value between combats, you should be considering what number they're on. And this fight could have been Slavers, so I pass. Find a wheel that gives me a card move. Not bad at all. Make sure I have no curses. And we rest. The pair that we found, making that a bit better. Unusually large amount of max health for the Defect here. I took the +5 event as well, instead of healing, so got even more from that. And so here we are. I played the Bias Cog and removed the debuff, so now we have +5 focus for the whole fight. And it's certainly not over yet, but that will help quite a lot. Electrodynamics is going to be very good here. But in this case, I think I want to block more. Glacier and Cold Snap is blocking for so much here. That's definitely worth it, I would say. And we're going to be intangible next turn. Pretty good. And our claws are scaling. We're coming online. And so next turn, we have more dudes arriving. Would love to have these lightning orbs in play with electrodynamics to kill all of them. And we got double Skim coming up, so gonna have a lot of options this turn. Would love to find that chill again. For sure. There it is. So this will kill all the dudes, almost. I play Zap first, now all the dudes are in fact dead. And we can block with all this. Could have played Zap and blocked for a bit more, that was actually a mistake. I wanted to click the Claw, of course. Claw is law. And they're hitting for 26. There's still another Claw in there. I might have lethal this turn. Hologram for a Claw, play the Claw, skim. Play Claw. I almost missed lethal. I knew I had it, actually. Okay. And Incense Burner's on 5, so that's excellent. Getting out of Act 2 somehow. And we found Orange Pellets, Incense Burner's on 5, and Creative AI is very slow. We're already scaling with our claws. So Amplify is here, and Amplify kind of sucks. But, like, would have loved if it was Echo Form, for example. But Amplify could double play this Biased Cognition. And then we can go Amplify Biased Cog, which is a skill and a power, and then play a Claw. And we will have 2 Biased Cogs in play, going up to 10 focus. So after some consideration, I do click this Amplify over skipping. Also very weird. Another wacky addition to this run. Amplify generally not as good as you may think when you first see it. It's just so awkward trying to draw it at the same time. And because we have these extremely good potions, and I'm planning on saving them for the heart fight, Sozu has no downside, arguably. So we're going to be keeping these potions until the very, very end. And Sozu is just going to be chilling, giving us 4 energy. And here we are intangible against the Darklings, getting attacked by all 3, so that's nice. And I can get to my Bias Cog in play. Cooking. There's Electro. Go for the eyes of the one that's multi-hitting, of course. Amplify not cooking, sadly. And if we find any other power to duplicate that's good, then of course becomes better. But just picked it specifically to copy the Bias Cog. And don't any of these already have a chill? Too much chill is bad. We have the Frozen Core as well. Yeah. I was saying something, I forgot, sorry. Imagine not having a script. I think I was going to say, I considered that we have so much draw with the double skim, and we also have some deck manipulation with holograms, that it makes it more likely to be able to find Amplify and the power I want at the same time. And even if I whiff, the Bias Cog is pretty good anyway. Once again, ending the fight on the wrong turn. I actually pass here to charge Incense Burner by 1. Should play Claw, yep. Cool. So, did that right. I almost take a card here by accident because I forget that Sozu, like, lets you take the potion, and then, you know, like when your potion slots are full and you, like, spam click on the potion, it won't do anything, but if you have Sozu, you can click through the rewards really fast and accidentally take a card. And this fight's pretty spooky. Good ol' Writhing Mass. All of our damage is Claw. So, we did find the combo. The combo. Don't play that. Okay, very good. I had an open slot for a Frost Orb. It's now blocking for 36 each turn, and suddenly this fight is not so scary anymore. Shouldn't play that. If that turned into the curse, that would have been disaster. I'm okay with this. Play that, do some damage. Could even play Glacier. Play Chill just to get out of my deck. And yeah, Electro actually going to be doing some damage here. Unfortunately, Claw, you know, Claw can take a backseat for this one. A little bit much. Taking a bit of a risk there, but I knew I had a lot of draw in my deck as well. Dual cast making me a Frost Orb once again, very cool. Could play Claw. That should have probably been Zap. But the decisions with this sort of run are so hard, like, because I'm making questionable decisions anyway. You know, taking Claws is already like, what are you doing? And there's a cool headed, but there's also another hologram plus, and I take that. More copies of Claw. I already have enough Frost with the thing anyway. Frozen Core. Very sadly have to pass on the capacitor relic there, but there is a capacitor power anyway. So take that. And we have Giant Head. Could be a bit of a problem. Not gonna lie. The Claws don't quite scale fast enough. And I was looking to play the Bias Cog, of course. And can't play Skim again, because I won't have enough energy to then amplify Bias Cog, sadly. So I just pass. There's Bias Cog, and I check my draw pile, no holograms left. Very sad. So even with this amount of deck manipulation, double hologram, double Skim, it's still not happening consistently. Which is, you know, obviously I should have more powers, but man, it's tough. There's a Skim again. There's Bias Cog. But now if I hologram the Skim, I also can't do the thing again. So it's getting a bit awkward here, so I just go for it. I have to at this point. Can't not play the Bias Cog anymore at this point. And gonna be taking some damage here. Love to have this go for the eyes around every turn, if possible. Probably should have taken Skim there to look for, go for the eyes, but full blocking anyway. Not bad. Now go for the eyes. Full block in this turn. And here is Incense Burner cooking, so we're safe this turn. Skim's on top. Hologram for a Claw. Play Flash of Steel, then Skim. Look for more Claws. Found a Claw. And we got there. Killing it on the Incense Burner turn, of course. And found the boot! Our first Claw is going to deal 2 extra damage. I considered clicking Beam Cell here. Apply Vulnerable for my Claws, but there's Efficient, so... Gotta take that. And of course have to go this way to kill the Super Elite. Found Metallicized Reptomancer, a bit spooky. And not finding Electro is a bit sus here. I mean, not finding Bias Cog, rather. I need that. So I play it, of course. Either way, I'm trying to do as much damage to these as possible. I know that next turn, they're going to be hitting me for 25, and that's not good. So Fission, sadly going into the discard pile here. Can't get rid of these orbs. Play Skim, don't find Bias Cog, very sad. So a lot of options here. I could chill, kill everything, and then Capacitor. I wanted to do that first, that way the orbs actually evoked. I wanted them to evoke there. And if I amplify, So unfortunately here, because only the first play of the bias cog triggers the pellets, the second one then goes after the pellets. I am now taking -1 each turn, but I believe I still have this capacitor in my deck that I can then proc pellets with again. So looking to do that as soon as possible. Capacitor, defend, claw, and now my frozen core making us more frost orbs. Very cool. Once again, killing the dudes. At this point, we're getting up to the claws just one-shotting the minions. Very nice. Could have considered not playing Zap there, making a frost orb instead with frozen core. It's fine. I'm just thinking about this heart fight, man. My blood is rushing still from that fight. And Machine Learning is here. Not a particularly amazing card, but it is a power that I can copy with Amplify and also procs Orange Pellets. Strike Dummy is completely useless, and it's a bit late for Question Card, so sadly that chest is not cooking. And our Matryoshka is now gone. 8-12. Not great. Could have played Fission before Zap there. Doesn't matter though, I want Frost Orbs. So just charging up my stuff as much as possible. There's Bias Cog. And I'm thinking here, the thing's about to happen again, where my pellets will only trigger for just the first one. So I hologram again, take a claw, and then trigger it again. So now we are officially double bias cogged. Very cool. And amplify on the capacitor as well. This Nemesis is... he's never seen power like this before. It's definitely not the fight that I needed this luck in, though. Would have loved to have this luck against the bosses. And the boot, cooking, to be sure. I just kill, I guess. Could have waited for Burner yet again, but you can't rely on getting out of Nemesis on the right turn. And I clicked this without thinking. This is actually very scary. This was probably a mistake, taking this event at all. And a very, very bad opening hand. Dual cast Amplify Claw. Disgusting. So take a billion. And not a good turn here either. I did find Bias Cog, luckily. Should not play that. Oh yeah, I mean, I kind of have to do damage. But unfortunately, not going to be making a Frost Orb now that I've done that. Take another billion, down to 19. Like, this was a run-losing click right here. If you're not fast enough for this fight, just don't take it. It's not that big of a deal. We do have Incense Burner on 5, very nice. Find a Duvu doll. And it's basically just another copy of Vajra. And we can Glacier, Fission, and then chill afterwards. Very cool. I draw first, because I'm drawing 2 cards. There's Bias Cog and Electro, even. So play Bias Cog first, cleanse the debuff, then play Electro, and Zap, and then I can double claw Repto. So this is a great turn one, exactly what you're looking for. And there's even Amplifier for Capacitor, very cool. And that'll make me a Frost Orb as well. And now every single time it summons minions, it's just gonna die. Very nice. But the minions are just gonna die, rather. Go for the eyes, hologram, apply for Glacier. Yep. Man, Glacier is a card. Heck of a card. And it's making more dudes, more food for the electrodynamics. I sadly never found All for One. That would have been cool to play more claws. Should have played an attack, charged on Chocomore. It's a mistake. Found an Ink Bottle. And another Fission. More card draw to find the Amplify Bias Cog combo more reliably. A little bit sus, but it's fine. And another shop. Nothing amazing here. Probably just card move. Could take another unupgraded hologram, but that seems a bit questionable. Not interested in that. And we get Mind Bloom at the very end. I have 21 health, and there's the heal to full and get a curse option. And for possibly the first time in my life, I also click this, healing for 65. And pinning a curse that also gives us 1 strength for Dugadal. I would have clicked it either way, but a nice consolation prize, as it were. Play the machine learning, probably. And I do claw. This is probably a mistake. Of course, ticking towards the 12 cards played counter. And I would have just died right there if I hadn't healed. So, already paying dividends. I should not be playing claws here. Oh my goodness. It's a disaster. Oh, but I suppose I want to reset this turn. Sure. Yep. So it was right, if that was my plan, but doing that at all was questionable. And sadly, no way to draw this hologram. So we'll just go for it. Of course, a bit greedy not playing the thing there. And I do keep the capacitor around, trying to double that at some point. That would be nice. There's Amplify, so I would love to find capacitor. Whiff. Could have just played the other skin that was in my hand instead of hologram. And gotta play a card here. So certainly not playing this fight perfectly by any means. Very questionable. But like, beating Time Eater with claws? I've never been in this position before. Never. Game is hard. Nothing in my discard pile yet. Just play hologram to gain block. Should have played Cold Snap first. Yeah, should have Cold Snap, hologram, Cold Snap, hologram, Cold Snap. That was the line. Didn't take damage for it, but could have. And fine, go for the eyes. That's nice. And so I'm always splitting this turn, no matter what I do. So I want to play all the cards. Oh no, this is terrible. I mean, I know it's splitting the next turn, so it's okay to end on, you know, only one card remaining, but no way I'm splitting here. Now I have no Frost Orbs, so this was very, very questionable also. Probably the worst played Time Eater fight I've ever won, to be honest. This was just mistake after mistake for sure. Avert your eyes. Apply another stack of Weaken for next turn. I think that's reasonable. Claw, claw, hologram, claw. I'm getting more block. Makes sense. Playing play the claws. So now I'm starting to use my brain. I didn't want to die. Making sense here. And getting hit for 81. That's a lot. Dual cast is good, and should not play Zap. Should not play Zap. That's a mistake. Would have made another Frost Orb if I had that slot open. Definitely a mistake. Sadly, Time Eater's not hitting us on our intangible turn. And need to have cards. There's no way I can play 4 cards here, I'm thinking. So pass. Definitely need to be able to play cards next turn. And getting hit for 81 again. Don't want to take that damage. Compile Diver first. There's Claw Claw. Is it enough? I don't think so. Dual cast. Go for the Eyes dual cast. Yeah. And then I make another Frost Orb as well. So take 6 or 18. Yep. Very sad. This fight is a disaster. It's a disaster. I'm sorry about your eyes. But we made it through. We made it through. Almost took damage this turn also, but I think I'm sure I find the claw eventually. Oh my god, it was so close. Okay, no, I didn't even find a claw. There it is. Okay. Charging Ink Bottle. That's what I'm thinking here. Charging Ink Bottle with a defend, and then claw. To charge Nunchaku and Ink Bottle. And here we are against Donu Deka, happily not finding Woke Bird. It wouldn't have been that bad though, not playing that many powers. And of course, like, if you can do the thing with the double bias cog, then every fight becomes really easy, but finding the combo is rather hard. Didn't get there this time. Make as much block as possible. Could have tried a YOLO and get Skim back, play Claw Draw with Skim. And bias cog was there, would have worked. But I may have just died. Hologram again. Not in my hand. Very sad. So if I had it, I could hologram the Amplify back and then double the bias cog, but just not getting there. And I can't even proc Orange Pellets this turn. I have no attack in my hand. And next turn looks bad too. That hand is not good. I could hologram something good, I suppose. But I do have Incense Burner coming up here. So definitely taking a moment to think here. Really didn't want to die, and that Time Eater fight was so atrocious. Time to start thinking, after all. And Ink Bottle does trigger, and now I get Amplify. So if I had realized that, I could have played Zap instead of a card, and drawn. And then gotten back my Amplify and done the thing. So, yet again, making mistakes, although this time I think it was a lot harder to realize that. And also, there's only 1 in 5 chance I even drew the hologram there. So, a much more reasonable mistake there, I would say, instead of just me completely playing terribly. And I can save the chill here. I'm already making the block. I played anyway. Just to get it out of my deck, I'm imagining. Amplifies here. I've already played Capacitor. Just looking for Bias Cog. Here there was a world I could skim into Bias Cog, and then my Nunchaku would have gained me energy. Wasn't there though, so wouldn't have been punished. And again, no holograms in my hand. Very sad, so this time I just rip it and pray that it's enough, basically. And again, I draw a hologram with Flash of Steel, so... I mean... I really need to be paying attention to my relics, I suppose. Here's the lesson. If you have Ink Bottle, before you decide to make a play, you should look at what number it's on. There's my wisdom for this run. Boy, was I not thinking about that. And I'm still not thinking about it. And I'm usually pretty good about Ink Bottle. I've definitely had runs where I'm charging Ink Bottle a lot and putting on the right number and thinking about it, etc., but I don't know. It was just not happening today. I'm just hoping that I'm scaling my claws fast enough to get this Donu dead before I take damage. And then should be pretty easy to block every other turn against Deca. Unclear what situation it's best to kill which first in. The right one is the one that gives strength. So that's why I tend to just kill that one by default first. But not necessarily the case that it's the best one to kill or anything. And I didn't want to lose my Frost Orb, so I didn't play Electro this fight. My claws are enough damage. Holograms in there, can get a claw back. Very nice. And are unfortunately getting a doubt. Doubt making us weak, so our claws do less damage. Block as much as I can, take 2. Just gotta live. And Incense Burner's on the right number, and Nunchaku's on the right number going into Act 4. You love to see that. The turn 2 of the Act 4 Elite, of course, hitting you for at least 40. And also, you start with 2 burns in your hand that turn. So, absolutely brutal. And Incense Burner makes it a bit less painful. And upgraded Capacitor. Considered resting for 16. Sadly, I have to pass it on Data Disk. And I card remove. I might forget. Yeah, I forgot about removing Doubt. That is a huge mistake. Obviously, just wanted the strength for my claw, though. That's a mistake. That is a mistake. It's really not that big of a mistake, though. Like, oh my god, I didn't remove the curse. Like, it's really pretty much the same thing. But, getting weakened could be very bad, of course, if you're weakened at the wrong time. Amplify Electro. Get back a claw. This fight's going well so far. turn around, so it's doing less damage to me. And yeah, it's going pretty well. Take a little bit of damage there. And unfortunately now it's blocking for 99. So gonna have to turn back around. And could dual cast, make another Frost Orb. So block as much as I can here. Take some damage again. Not sure if this was played correctly overall or anything like that, but it's fine. And gonna be ending this fight with Instance Burner on 3. At least that blocks one of the attacks, but better to have it on 2. I'm up for another capacitor, I'll take that. Sadly, passing a claw there would have been great to have that. And here we are against the heart. So, turn 1, not looking too impressive, but I can hologram to block first and then just play my machine learning and move on. And fortunately getting multi-attacked first so we don't die here. I skim. I can go hologram, biased cog. I need to do pot this. Biased cog, then hologram, then claw to cleanse the debuff. So at long last, we have used our potion and our other potion. Play the claw, take 2, take 1 rather. And I don't play the zap. I want more Frost Orbs. In hindsight, though, should have been making the Lightning Orbs here. Could have used the damage. So perhaps the start of the mistakes in this fight. Reasonable pass there. So now we're blocking for... what's that? 12 times 9. But that's not going to be enough for the whole fight, so we have to start doing stuff eventually. Play Electro. Sure. Yeah, so now I realize, okay, gotta weave in some damage at some point. So I realized pretty early, which is good. Stamp, sure. And fissions are not cooking yet. Bit tough to remove all these orbs and not gain their effect. They're sort of to find the powers in the first place, so since we've already got everything in play, it's a bit late for them now. Blocking, now the Beta Death is doing 3 damage to us each time we play a card. And Defect uniquely is very bad against the Beta Death because you're getting most of your block from your Frost Orbs, which go off at the end of the turn. So with no loop in the deck at all, then we have to find a way to gain block before playing our cards each turn. In this instance, I was able to dual cast. This could have been a Fisher turn. And the Glacier, and then try to rebuild. Still a bit questionable, though. I zap to evoke a Frost Orb so I can play cards. Let's claw again. Okay. And getting not multi-hit here is really good. Could have died this turn. Although we do have Go for the Eyes, maybe it would have been better to get multi-hit here after all. Not sure. Unclear. But yeah, we're trying to do a lot of damage here, so we don't die. And the Doubt is here, weakening us. It's very scary. And we kind of need to kill here, saying 120 damage. So I claw, claw, claw. And our Inkball draws Fission. And I play the Fission. And at this point, my heart is pounding. Because I'm like, oh my god, is the run really going to end this way? Taking a fat 120 to the dome. And of course taking 3 damage every card we play. No orbs. This is it. All or nothing right here. So play Claw, hologram, Claw, and it's enough with the letter opener plus compile driver, and I live with exactly 2 health. One more card played and I would have died. Oh, it's a work of art. It's beautiful. So that was very stressful, but I made it through with the claws. Claw is law after all. So hope you enjoyed that Claw special. Thank you so much for watching, and as always, have a beautiful day.